Всем привет, друзья! С вами Фиеста, и я наконец-то продолжаю проходить вампира. Побегаем немножко по сюжету сейчас. И... ну что ж, в путь, друзья. По сюжету сейчас. Так. Куда там идти? Прекратить шантаж. Леди Эшбери нам надо. Так, направо и по прямой. Ну, отправляемся мы туда. Так, направо и по прямой. Ух, 18 уровень! Серьезно? Вот это очень опасно. 18 уровень. Привет, Богдан. Не знаю, у меня получится с ним сразиться или нет. Но, наверное, ему много урона наносить не буду. Фу ты, он восстановился. Ладно, это, мне кажется, гиблое дело. По крайней мере, пока что. Ага, блин, способность наша ушла в кулдаун. Привет, Богдан, привет, Андрей. Блин, ну они меня прогоняют. Блин, ну надо с ними тогда разобраться. Ой, огонь, огонь, опасно. Блин, когда сразу дерешься с несколькими врагами, это... Ух, что это такое? Иди сюда. Да, блин. Вот этого надо побыстрее убить. Так, хорошо. Блин, опасно. Очень опасно. Хорошо. Так. А ну, иди сюда. Отлично. Ах ты, он меня колом ударил. Ладно, не будем с ним долго возиться. Что тут есть такого интересного? Доктор Хаус на максималках. А что это за место? Я нашел такое. Так, ну, вроде тут больше ничего нету. Будем выходить. Так, ну да, сюда я не зайду. Тут, я так понимаю, тоже все. О, убежище. Вот это неплохо. Так, ну... Я явно спать не буду. Так, а ну иди сюда. Так, смотрим. Надо куда-то прямо. Перекресток прохожу и налево поворот. Понятно. Будем тут все собирать, стараться. Блин, надо вот этого убивать. Бродячих этих вампиров не будем оставлять. Ух ты, блин. Иди сюда. Хорошо. А с них выпадает же что-то? Да, выпадает. Я уже и забыл. Новобранец стражей. Блин, у нас опять прогоняют. Так, 10 уровень, 11. Так, разберемся сначала с большим. Серьезно? Иди сюда. Как я пропустил, я даже сам в шоке. Блин, большие эти такие, блин, парни опасные. Надо было начинать с маленьких. Ай-яй-яй, опасно, отходим. Да ё-моё, зажали демоны. Не того, не того, не того. Блин, еще бегут. Бляха-муха. Блин, выносливости вообще нету. Так, а теперь иди сюда. Хорошо. Отлично, сбили ему защиту. И... Ах ты ж урод. Иди сюда. Как все сложно. Так, осталось теперь с большим разобраться. Блин, способность в КД. Иди сюда. Блин, урона мало наношу. Способности свои. Так, и оружие бы найти получше. По 20 урона примерно наношу. Так. Хорошо. Фух. С трудом, но справился. Когда их, блин, так много, тяжело очень с ними драться. Так, а мне налево надо было.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Так, а что там было сказано? Включить чутье, чтобы найти... Или включить карту? Привет, привет, спасибо. Блин, думал, тут убежище будет. А оно не тут. Так, тут я не пройду. Так, мертвый солдат. Или горожанин. Что там произошло?
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Эх, блин, ладно. Личные вопросы задать не могу. Могу спросить о Дороти Крейн.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. If she's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Ну, вроде все. Больше мы ему ничего не можем задать, спросить. Ладно, попрощаться.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Ладно. Поинтересуемся жизнью в Лондоне.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
Неплохо. Ладно. А об этом районе?
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
У вас нет семьи, вопрос, хотя он говорил, что есть сын.
You don't have anywhere to go. No family that would welcome you.
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Так, понятно. Задать личный вопрос. Почему вы выстрелили в
Whatever the
мальчика?
boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Понятно. Тут, кстати, открылся нам вопрос. Расскажите мне о войне.
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Товарский метод остается садиться. Возьмите себя в
What
руки.
about those we left behind, face down in the mud? You want to change places with them? You cannot waste your chance at life this way.
It's not that simple. I wouldn't have expected you to understand. I don't even know why I spoke to you in the first place.
Ай-яй-яй. Не то я выбрал. Ну ладно.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's just a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Понятно.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail.
К сожалению, нет.
Goodbye for now.
Мигрень. Так, переутомление.
Me, I'll not die in some piss-stinking alley drinking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Так, откроем еще раз карту. А, вот, удалить. Все вижу. Ладно, отправляемся тогда в ту сторону. О, тут еще есть кто-то. Давайте поговорим.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Ладно, с ней тоже можно поторговать. Спросим о Лондоне.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Немая цветочница. Что вы думаете о
What do you
местных
think
жителях?
of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Понятно. Тогда зададим второй вопрос.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Понятно. Так, личный вопрос. Все закрыто. Тогда спросим о Дороти Крейн.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Понятно.
Goodbye, Miss
Ну,
Swan.
тогда все.
Perhaps we'll talk again.
The Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all your problems. As long as you have the money. Its effectiveness has been
Так, мне в ту сторону. Блин, убежище бы еще найти. Было бы вообще здорово. Так. А тут нет нигде убежища. О, еще людей встретил.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe.
Так, ну давайте поговорим тоже с ними.
Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions for you.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
Так, ну как всегда, про жизнь в Лондоне вопросы зададим. Что вы здесь делаете? Врачей не хватает.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Так, а что вы здесь
May I
делаете?
ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
Так, что-то он не очень рад с нами разговаривать. Личные вопросы закрыты все. Ну, спросим о Дороти
Have you
Крейн.
heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Понятно, ладно.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Так, тут еще вот парень один, с ним тоже мы немного поговорим.
Welcome, sir. Please take a browse of my wares.
О,
I'm
еще не
Dr.
торгаш.
Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Понятно. Так, ну, как всегда, те же самые про жизнь в Лондоне.
How is business
Спросим.
around here?
Business? I have no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
О, надо будет задать ему вопрос.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Вас
Have you
ранили?
been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Ну, это уже понятно, кто был. Это были не люди. Личный вопрос. Все закрыто. Спросить о Дороти Крейн.
Have you heard of a nurse called Dorothy Crane?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Так, она пытается помочь, она прекрасная медсестра. Она пытается
So she's
помочь.
trying to help her fellow immigrants. Why would that make her a villain?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Понятно. Ну все.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Так, ладно, вернемся назад, поговорим там еще с одним пареньком, зададим ему вопрос. А где я его только видел, надо вспомнить. По-моему, вот с этим надо поговорить. Или с этим, или с тем первым.
Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
Так, личный вопрос. Закрыто. Закрыто.
A gun, alcohol.
Блин, я забыл, с кем поговорить надо.
Terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Так, а ну глянем того первого паренька.
How are you, boy?
I'm not your boy, all right? Now piss off.
Да, блин. Не с этими мне надо поговорить.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering.
Ну тогда не будем вообще и напрягаться сейчас. Отправимся мы
All your problems,
по
as
заданию.
long as you have the money.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Так. Ух ты, нашел.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Так, найти жителей... Ой, чего? Найти Ричарда или найти Клейтона. Ладно. Джо Питерсон. А, вот мне вот с этим поговорить надо было, я вспомнил. Задать личный вопрос. Не тут. Да, вам нравится запугивать людей?
How did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of, Joe?
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
Most people don't become thugs when unemployed. This is a choice you made.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons. And that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Ага, понятно.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Так, зададим еще пару вопросов.
You never lose your focus, do you?
Да, вообще легко найдем.
Joe Peterson. He's the villain here, isn't he? But you seem to know each other.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell me about Mr. Peterson? Besides his behavior toward you, obviously.
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has ever stood up to this thug.
Nobody will be fool enough to stand against the wet boot boy.
Понятно.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
О, еще людей нашел. О, отец, правда. Поговорим со священником.
Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Так, поинтересоваться жизнью в Лондоне.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Блин, я верю только фактам, я слушаю.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Включить прожектор с летучей мышью.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
На укусе надежда, но где будет предел? Сейчас ведь 20.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say...
Ой, это я уже задавал вопрос.
I am.
Так, задать личный вопрос.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
Мне кажется, он там на
You sent
кладбище
him
уже
on
умер.
some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
Понятно.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
Понятно.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Понятно, ладно.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Так. Тут закрыто. Блин, тут людей просто, ну, да, фига с кем можно поговорить.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may. I'm a doctor. Dr. Reed.
All right then, but be quick. Though I usually get paid when I open my mouth.
Блин, ну камера просто офигенно стала. Ладно, будем разговаривать вот так. Спросим про жизнь в Лондоне, о здоровье.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London, and you could be exposed, or expose others.
I don't like doctors or hospitals, but I don't like you asking questions.
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only a matter of time before you have health issues.
If it is going to happen, it will happen. Right now, I need money. That's what's important.
You can put your own life in danger, that's your decision. But what about your clients? If you're contaminated, you will put them in danger too.
And you think that would worry me? If you knew the men I deal with, their health would not be what you'd worry about.
Понятно. Ладно, спросим личный вопрос какой-то. Что примечательного было в вашей жизни?
Are you joking with me? People don't usually come to see me for conversation.
I have no interest in your work. I am, however, curious as to what led you into this career.
Short story. The war, exile, and England. This country is not especially welcoming. I've been refused many jobs because of where I am from. I had few options left.
Понятно.
I always thought I was the master of my own fate. But now I know we don't always have control over our lives. I don't judge you.
You know, this money is not only for me. I have good reasons to need this money quickly. But it is not your concern, Doctor.
Понятно. Ладно. Спросить о Дороти Крейн.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Anything you can tell me about her would be helpful.
I don't know her, but I know her name is Dorothea Crăciunescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect that.
Понятно. Ладно.
Goodbye, miss. Take
Пойдемте.
care of yourself as best you can.
Найдем Ричарда или Клейтона. Блин, да тут просто людей навалом.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
О, неплохо. Спросить о расследовании.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
Преступно. Это логично. Это позор. Ну, блин, даже не знаю, что тут выбрать. Ну, вроде как бы и логично, и мне все нравится просто.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
Так.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Это не просто эпидемия, я не могу это объяснить.
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Так. Что вы здесь делаете после заката?
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Привет, привет, Влас. Привет, дружище.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Так, понятно.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
Так, понятно. Личные вопросы. Все закрыто. Тогда по заданию зададим вопрос. Спросить о подпольной амбулатории.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
Я забочусь о здоровье людей.
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you sure you're not just concerned about the repercussions that a scandal involving a certain nurse Crane from the Pembroke Hospital would bring?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
Нет родственников?
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses.
Говорит сам с собой.
You can usually find him behind the church.
За церковью, ага, понятно.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Понятно.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Так, осталось поговорить еще с одним говорит, за церковью он находится. Ослепленный скаль. Ну просто классно. Блин, тут еще один. Что это за подстава? Это засада. Ах ты ж засранец. Как я пропустил? Серьезно? Так. Ну и давайте вот добьем уже. Ой-ой-ой, что это за апперкот был? Это что? Так, и туда сходим, и туда сходим. Так, ну тут у нас закрыто. Угу. Найти Ричарда. А, вот он, наверное, он. Так, погодите-ка. А где тогда письмо? С другой стороны. Попробую обижать сейчас. Сначала письмо возьмем. А уже потом... все остальное. Если я просто мимо пройду, тут же ничего не будет. Поговорим с ним сейчас потом. Сначала письмо заберем. Ага, письмо издателя с отказом каким-то. Так, сюда. Так, смотри, что такое стихов. Угу, понял, конечно, там что стихи отправил, и ему отказали. Так, погодите-ка, куда меня вот это вот направляет? Дверь закрыта. О, открыто. Ага, так. Почтовый ящик найти. Вот где мне его... А, вот нашел. Так. Дети.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
О, камелия.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly.
Вы ведь понимаете?
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Вы работаете с сестрой Крейн?
Melia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Блин, ну как с ней разговаривать просто? Если она ничего не рассказывает.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Кстати говоря, если убивать вот этих всех жителей, можно намного быстрее прокачаться и стать сильнее. Так, ладно, поговорим сейчас вот с этим поэтом.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Так, ну что ж, Ричард, давай поговорим. Что вы делаете здесь среди ночи?
Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
Вы не боитесь эпидемии?
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Так, сейчас в Лондоне. Что вы думаете о ситуации в Лондоне?
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Своеобразный взгляд.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Так, вы знаете, что рискуете здесь жизнью?
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
Кто вам поможет? Случись беда?
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you for a start, my dear Doctor.
Ну, логично, да. Так, ладно. Личный вопрос можно задать? Так, зададим сначала обычный вопрос.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott, why seek inspiration in Whitechapel?
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it? Stirring and challenging.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much, and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Так, отлично.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
Так, вы боитесь узнать правду о ней?
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower of Whitechapel if she moves uptown?
Так, ладно, а теперь тут...
In what way exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles and the arid hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about. And that's what Whitechapel is made of.
Так, тут два вопроса открылись. Давайте их зададим. Ну, вы зарабатываете письмом.
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
Подыщите себе тело, богатые поэты, редкость.
Still, you don't seem to suffer from poverty.
With thanks to my parents, actually. I'm afraid I would not be able to live on my own without their help.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Понятно. Ладно, второй вопрос. Вы в курсе, чем занимается цветочница?
Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Вы безнадежный романтик. Но вы не особо
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
Вы безнадежный романтик.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
Так, что тут еще можно задать? Ну, теперь по заданию. Знаете Дороти Крейн?
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
А Дороти спросим.
A nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love the name. The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But, sorry, no, never heard of her.
Ладно, ну туда о Дариусе спросим.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
Так, понятно.
I'll leave you alone, sir. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Так, ну, я, наверное, на этом закончу данную серию и продолжу уже минут через 20 где-то. Ну, друзья, а кому понравилось, не забываем ставить лайк, подписываемся на мой канал и всем до скорых встреч!